Hello everyone, welcome to Unravel Logic channel. In today's video, we will be covering weighted mean or weighted average. The prerequisite for this is arithmetic mean, of course, or the concept of average. So let us start. As usual, let us start with the formal definition first. So, for definition. It is a type of mean that calculates the average of a set of values where some values contribute more than others to the final average or mean. So let me write it down. It is a type of mean that calculates the average of a set of values where some values contribute more than the others to the final average or mean. So let us repeat again. It is a type of mean. So mean, ultimately it's an average only, that calculates the average of a set of values. So mean of a set of values, just like arithmetic mean, but the only difference is that in the weighted mean, some values contribute more than others to the final average or mean. And we'll see what do we mean by some values contribute more than others. Right, this is why the video is being made, because this is the most important concept of weighted mean. But before we understand this definition in a simpler way, let us see the formula first to see it mathematically, to see the concept or formal definition mathematically. Okay, so let us start with the mathematical formula. Let us write the mathematical formula down. So the mathematical formula goes like this: x bar w equals sum of numbers from I equal to 1 to n, sum of values I should say, not just numbers, the values in the data set basically, wi times xi, which is the ith weight and ith value in the data set, divide by sum of weights from I equal to 1 to n. This is multiplication, and let us see what each of the term means. So w means weighted. This is as usual x bar. This is sum or summation notation. This is the same, sum. This is ith weight in your data set. This is the ith value in your data set, and again this is the ith weight. Okay, now if we go by the definition, some values contribute more than others. So this contribution in the weighted mean is denoted by this w. This w is nothing but the contribution of this xi into this data set, and that is what we call as weight. And for some values this contribution would be more, and for some values this contribution would be less. So this is what we mean when we say some values contribute more than others to the final average or mean, and this is nothing but the final average or mean, which we are calling as weighted mean. So let us understand more with the help of some examples. Okay, so what we need to ultimately find out is what is this weight, where is this weight coming from. Okay, So what is this weight? Where does this come from? And why divide by sum of all weights? Sum of all weights. We'll answer all these questions with the help of examples, and then you would be able to understand it in a better way, or you would be in a better position to understand what weighted mean is. Okay, so let us understand using an example. Let us assume that you sell t-shirts. You are a t-shirt seller. You sell t-shirts. You have a supplier that you buy all the t-shirts from. So you buy all the t-shirts from a supplier, t-shirt supplier. Now you buy the same kind of t-shirts but at different prices, or you can say same category of t-shirts or same t-shirts of same design, but at different prices at different times and based on your inventory in different quantities. Okay? So different prices, different times, and different quantities, but the same design. For example, in the month of April, let's say, you bought 10 t-shirts at price of 5 per unit. Okay. In May, you bought 20 t-shirts at a price of 6 per unit. Okay. In June, you bought 30 t-shirts at a price of 4.5 per unit. This is what we mean. Okay. Now you want to find the cost price of a single t-shirt to decide a selling price. Okay. So what we mean by that is that out of all these purchases that you made in April, in May, in June, and the prices, what you want to find out is what is the average price of a t-shirt out of all these 60 t-shirts that you bought. Okay, and that would be your cost price. Why do you want to find this cost price? So that you can decide an appropriate selling price to start selling all these 60 t-shirts from the month of July. Okay, I hope you all understood the problem. Okay, you want to find the cost price, average cost price of a single t-shirt to decide a selling price to start selling all these t-shirts from the month of July. Okay. Let us see the data first. Okay. Data is something like this. So you have your quantity and the price. Don't care about the months and all, because we now understand that you have bought the t-shirts at different times and different prices. Okay. So quantity 100, price is 150 per unit. Okay, per t-shirt, basically unit is a t-shirt here. And then 50, quantity is 50, price is 170, then quantity is 200, price is 140. Okay, and this is like a table of some sort. Now, as usual, without jumping on to the weighted mean, let's find the average price of a t-shirt using arithmetic mean first. The mean that we already know, okay, which is also called a simple mean or average. So 150 plus 170 plus 140, since we are trying to find the average price, we'll only sum the price. And how many prices do we have? Which is 3. So you should get something like this. I have already pre-calculated because I do not want to waste time in doing trivial calculations. So the answer is 153.33 per unit or per t-shirt. Okay, now this number is well and good, right? But you need to understand why this is bad. But to understand that, you need to find the weighted mean of this data based on the formula that we just discussed. And the question that you should also have is, what is the meaning of quantity here? Okay, this quantity, what does this data mean? Why are we even putting this data here if we do not want to use it, which we didn't in our simple mean or arithmetic mean calculation? So let's understand what this quantity means and will it affect the average price or not. Okay, and to first understand why this quantity is important, understand that the costliest t-shirt has the price of 170. So this is the costliest t-shirt that you bought. Okay, but that t-shirt is the least in number. So this is the least that you also bought. Okay, so the average should be affected the least by it. Okay, right? But in our simple mean or arithmetic mean, we are giving equal importance to all the prices that we have. So 150 has been given the same importance as 170. 170 has been given the same importance as 140, and like associatively, right? All the prices have been given the same importance. But we can clearly see that 170 is is bought the least amount of times. Okay, t-shirt with price 170 is bought the least amount of times. So that should mean something. Okay, now what if we multiplied the prices by the quantities? Okay, what if we multiplied the prices by quantities? Okay, so let's see. 100 is the quantity for price 150, so we multiplied it, and then 50 is the quantity for price 170, so we multiplied it, and then 200 is the quantity for price 140, so we multiplied it and then divide by. Okay, 100 plus 50 plus 200. Okay, now these are the weights: W1, W2, W3, and the next question should be, why this and not 3, which is the number of prices that we have, which we used in the simple mean. Okay, why not? Let us understand that. So we divide by the sum of weights because we need to distribute the price total or the numerator equally for all the three quantities. Okay. We need to distribute the price total equally for all the three quantities. Okay. But now you might be saying that I just a couple of or few seconds ago I said that we should not give equal importance to all the prices, which we are not. If you see the numerator, now the importance of each price is different. It is based on the quantity purchased for the t-shirts of that price. But if we put 3 here, it wouldn't make much sense, right? Because if you see, the t-shirt having price 158 is bought 100 times. Okay, so this is not one time 150, this is 100 times 150. This is 100 times 150. Okay, and this is 50 times 170, and this is 200 times 140. Okay, so all these quantities that we are taking into account, all these prices are multiplied or summed these many times. So in total, the numerator, the number of numerators that we are summing up is not 3. It is total of 100 plus 50 plus 200, which would come to 350. Okay, and what we are doing is we are distributing the price total equally for all the three quantities, and you will understand this more in the later part of the video. Okay, and another reason is to get the answer in the same units as the price. To get the answer in the same units as the price. Okay, so if you see, so this is price plus price plus price divided by number of prices. Okay, this is nothing but simple mean. But in this simple mean, if you multiply by weights, which is nothing but quantities, okay, so q times price plus q times price plus q times price divided by n of prices, okay, this will give you what? So this will give you q times prices as the unit. Okay, to balance this extra q that you are getting, which is meaningless for the result that you'll get, which is average of prices is the result that we want, but that should not have a factor of quantity in it. So to balance this, what you are doing is, instead of doing this, what you are doing is q plus q plus q, and this would be q times prices divided by q, and this q and q would cancel out, so you would be left with prices, which should be the unit of your final answer. Okay, so that is another reason of dividing by the sum of the quantities or the weights, basically, if we go with the formula. Okay, but we are not dividing solely because of this reason. This reason is this division is sort of a byproduct of the concept, okay, that I just explained while I was explaining that we need to distribute the price total equally for all the three quantities. Okay, Now let me explain this concept in another simple way. Okay, price 150 is 100 times. I already explained this, but let's understand this in a graphical way. Okay, a little bit visual way, I should say. 170 is 50 times. Okay, price 140 is 200 times. All prices are 350 times. Okay, so what is the average? Okay, which is the sum of quantity times price over total number of items. Okay, which is 350, right? If you see, there are total of 350 t-shirts. Okay, and then this is the sum. So now I think you should understand this intuitively. Now overall, the formula is still the formula of arithmetic mean or simple mean if you look conceptually, which is like the sum of all the data points divided by total number of data points. Okay, so average price of a t-shirt is 147.14 and not 153.33. So this is your weighted mean and this is your simple mean. See, there is a lot of difference. So if you base your cost price, if you base your selling price on this cost price, let's say you make it 160 or something. Okay, and if you base your selling price on this cost price, let's say you make it 150 or something. Okay, this one has a better chance of selling in market as compared to this one. Okay, better chance in the market as this one. I mean, you would be in profit if you sell both of these, because both the selling prices are greater than the cost price ultimately. But if you consider your competition in the market, you would have a better advantage and better profit margin. Along with better advantage, you will have a better profit margin with this one. Okay, all right. Let us do one thing and modify the data. Let us understand it more. Okay, so modify the data, and I will actually show you how the weights really affect your average. Okay, so let us modify the data this way. So this is your quantity, this is your price, 150. So you bought only one t-shirt at the price of 150, and then 50 t-shirts at a price of 170, and 200 t-shirts at a price of 140. Okay, let us calculate the average using both the methods. So if you use simple mean, straight away 150 plus 170 plus 143, you will get the same number, 153.33. See, simple mean is unaffected by the weights because we are not considering the weights. Okay, now if we calculate the weighted mean, this would be 150 times 1, 170 times 50, and then 140 times 200. Okay, 1 plus 50 plus 200, which is the total of our weights. The answer is 146.6. Now look at the data. For the simple mean, we have 153.33. For the weighted mean, we have 146.66. This changed everything. This changed everything. Also, if you think about it, here when we are doing this simple mean, what we are essentially doing is we are just considering the average of these three prices. We are not considering the quantities. So when we are calculating the simple mean, we are not essentially satisfying a requirement to find the average price of all the t-shirts. In the simple mean, we are not considering the t-shirts. We are only considering three prices and finding their average. That's it. And in the weighted mean, we are actually satisfying a requirement, which is to find the average price of all the t-shirts which we bought at different times in different quantities and at different prices. Okay, so I hope now you understand what is the significance of the weights or quantity in our example. Okay, and this is how it makes a difference. We saw it right here. Okay, now let us understand when to use it. Okay, when different data points need to be given different importance. Different data points need to be given different importance. What this means is and this can be due to different factors. Okay, in our case the factor was the quantity, but in other cases the factors can be different. Okay, less importance, less weight. Okay, less importance, if you want to give less importance to a data point, the weight should be less. If you want to give more importance to a data point, the weight should be more. Okay, and in some cases you will have to choose the weights yourselves. So in our case the weights were very obvious, the quantities were the weights, but there would be some cases or a lot of cases wherein you will have to consciously choose which factor would you make as weight in your calculations. In that case you need to keep this in mind. The weights used should have a clear significance to the data. So this is a very important point. Weights used should have a clear significance to the data. This is really important, and that is it. I think I managed to cover everything about weighted mean, and I hope the concept is clear to you all now. Okay, thank you for watching. Please like, share, comment and subscribe. Your feedback is important to me.